Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to talk about frequency distribution, and the objective of this video are to construct the frequency distribution for categorical data, to construct on-group frequency distribution for numerical data, and to construct group frequency distribution for numerical data. Let's actually talk about frequency distribution. What is frequency distribution? To describe situation, draw conclusion, or make inferences about the event, the researcher must organize the data in some meaningful way. The most convenient method of organizing the data is to construct the frequency distribution. So when you're constructing the frequency distribution, we are trying to present the data in a meaningful way. This is one of the methods of organization of data. So when we say frequency distribution, it's the organization of raw data in table form using classes and frequencies. So one of the methods of organizing the data is by constructing the frequency distribution. And in frequency distribution, we make the table. So we present the data in the form of a table using classes and frequency. There are three types of frequency distribution that you are going to explore in this video. The first one is called the categorical frequency distribution, which is for categorical data. On-group frequency distribution, which is for the small size numerical data. And then group frequency distribution, which is for large size numerical data. Let's begin with the first example here. An organization surveyed 50 randomly selected individuals and asked them the primary way they receive the daily news. The choices were via newspaper, represented by N, television, represented by T, radio, represented by R, or internet, represented by I. We are asked to construct a categorical frequency distribution for this data. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this data and then export it to Excel. I need to copy everything. Okay, so I need to copy this to Excel. Let me do that. Okay, I copied the data and here is my data. Now our four variables are newspaper N, television T, radio R, and internet I. Now we need to count each of these. For example, how many N are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe I didn't count it right. I got 8. Let me count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10. So you have seen that when you're counting manually, sometimes we make a mistake. First time I counted 8. Now I'm seeing 10. So what I'm going to do is, instead of counting manually, I'm going to use the Excel command to count this. If I want to count this and write the value here, what I'll do is I'll do equal to and then type count, and here it will bring count if. This is the function that we want to use. So double click that. Now what we have to do is we have to put the range of the data and then the criteria. So range of the data is here. So this is the place where we are calculating counting the data. So this is our range, but we are counting N from this range. We have to count T from the same range. We have to count R from the same range, and we have to count I from the same range. So what I have to do is I have to fix this range. The way I fix that range is I need to put a dollar sign in front of that A, dollar sign in front of that number 3, dollar sign in front of that alphabet again, dollar sign in front of that numeral again. Then you can see after that, after range, we have a comma. And what I'm counting now is this N. So close that and hit enter. 10. As I counted before, I got 10. Now I have to go here and click again. Move this cursor to this corner here. Then it will change to a plus sign. After it is changed to the plus sign, drag down and it will count the rest. So there are 16 T, or 16 people watch television. Again, 12 people listen to radio, and 12 depends on internet for the news. So this process of making the frequency distribution is the frequency distribution for categorical data. Okay, now second example, the blood urea nitrogen or BUN count of 20 randomly selected persons is given here in milligrams per deciliter. We have to construct ungrouped frequency distribution for the data. Ungrouped because the data size is small. Small numerical data, we use ungrouped. Okay, also find the cumulative and relative frequency after we construct that frequency table. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this data and move it to the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, here is my data. Now we have to look at the data value. You can see you have 11, 12, you don't see 13. So we are going to write whatever data value is here. So you can see we have 11, then we have 12, we have 15, we don't have 13, 14, we have 15, then we don't have 16 and 17, I can see there's 18, then we have 20. Okay, this is what we have. Now we want to count how many 11 are there. So equal to count, then it will bring count if, that's what we are doing. So double click that, then we give the range of the data. So our data is here, so that's the range, but we need to fix this for every column, and in order to fix that we need a dollar sign in front of this A, dollar sign in front of this 2, dollar sign in front of this J, and dollar sign in front of this 3. I don't know why dollar. Maybe it will be happy when you give dollar. Okay, comma. Then I need the criteria. Here I'm counting 11, so I'll select that. Close and then enter. So there are 3 11s here. Count it just for fun. Count here. 1, 2, 3. That's right. So if the data is small, you can just look at it and write. But if the data is really big, we can make Excel count and write these values. Now we select that, we go here until this cursor changes to plus sign, and we drag down. Okay, that is the frequency. So we have a data value here, the X value, and we have frequency here. So this is the frequency table. On the same frequency table, we are also asked to write the cumulative frequency and relative frequency. When I say cumulative frequency, in the first column, this is your the frequency for the first line. The frequency for the first line is 3. Then when you go here, it is the frequency for the previous line, okay, plus this line. So this plus this, up to here it's already 3. So it's like this one, okay. So let me write the formula. This is equal to sum. Actually, I'm adding this value plus this value, and if I enter that, you can see 3 up to here, the total is 7. Now I can do the same thing. I can select that, move the cursor here. Once it changes to plus sign, drag down. Now this is 10 because 3 plus 4 plus 3, it's 10. Here it is 16 because 6 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3, 16. And this is 20 because if you add all these all the way up to here, it's 20. So cumulative means you are adding the frequencies before that particular value. Here it's only 3. Here it is 7 because 4 plus 3 is 7. Here it is 10 because 3 plus 4 plus 6, 10. Here it is 16 because 6 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3, 16. Here it is 20 because 4 plus 6 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3 is 20. Okay. Now, cumulative frequency is the ratio of frequency to the total value. Okay, so here this is equal to this frequency divided by the total value. Total, when you add all these, we have already seen that it's 20. It's always 20, so divided by 20. 0.15 is the relative frequency. So what we can do is we can go here and then you can change that cursor to plus sign and drag down. So you'll get frequency for all of these. Now, one thing to note here, when you add all the frequencies, it is equal to the cumulative frequency on the last row. Okay. And here, if we add these values, relative frequencies, when you add the relative frequencies, it will be equal to 1. For example, you can see here, if you add this 0.15 and this 0.15, it's 0.3, 0.3 plus 0.2, 0.5, 0.5 plus 0.3, 0.8, 0.8 plus 0.2 is 1. So you'll see that all this is, again, when you add them together, that is equal to 1. So in this example, in example 2, what we did is we have this small size numerical data, and for this small size numerical data, we constructed the frequency table. Once we have the frequency table, then we use that frequency table to find the cumulative frequency and relative frequency. Next example, the ages of time of death of those vice president of United States who have passed away are listed below. So these are the ages of the vice president of US at the time of death. So you can see that it's a large data size. We are asked to use the data to construct the group frequency distribution. Group frequency distribution because the data is large. Second thing, the data value may not be repeating like in the previous example. Also, as we are making the group frequency distribution, we are also asked to use the 6 classes. And after we construct the frequency distribution, we are asked to find the cumulative and relative frequency. Okay, I'm going to copy this data and export it to the Excel spreadsheet to construct the group frequency distribution. Okay, here is my data. Now, when you have the big data, what you have to do is try to find the minimum and maximum value for this data set. So you can select all these, and to find the minimum value, you'll say, or you can first type there. So minimum value is equal to, you can say min for minimum of all these values. You just select that minimum of all that, close that parenthesis here and hit enter. So minimum is 51. Now if you want to find the maximum, that is equal to maximum of all these data. Just select that, close that and hit enter. So that is the maximum. Now range is the maximum minus minimum. So range is equal to maximum is 98, this one, minus the minimum is this one, 51. That is equal to 47. And class width, we want to make 6 classes. So the class width will be range divided by the number of classes. So this is equal to, your range is 47 divided by 6 classes as it is mentioned in the question. And when you enter, this is equal to 7.8333. When you round it to the nearest whole number, this is equal to 8. So you can say that the class width is 8. So you are going to start with 51 and then your class width is 8 and we are making 6 classes. So lower limit for first class is 51 and 51 plus 8. 51 plus 8 is 59. Then, so the first one is from 51 to 59. So next one will be 60. Okay, that's from 60. Class width is 8. So 60 plus 8, 68. Now next is 69. Okay, 69. Now plus 8. 69 plus 8 is 77. Then next is 78. From 78, 78 plus 8 is 86. 86. Then 87. Okay, 87 plus 8. 87 plus 8 is 95. The next one is from 95. Okay, from 95, 95 plus 8 is 104. 104. Okay, now we need to find the frequency. Now here, for the group frequency distribution, the process is a little bit different. So what we do is, in order to count these frequencies, we are going to go to data in our Excel spreadsheet, and then we go to data analysis. So in the data analysis, we use this histogram to find those frequencies. Then click OK. We need the data input range. Our data is here. This is our data, the entire data. So we need that range. So I need to select that. If I select that, the data input range is there. The next one is bin range. Bin range is the upper limit of the class. Our class is 51 to 59, 60 to 68, 69 to 77, 78 to 86, 87 to 95, 95 to 104. So the bin is this upper limit of the class. So this is our bin. Okay. And then where I want that frequency, I need that output range where I want that. So here I need to write where I want to put those frequencies. I want to put it here in this box. So if I click that, the value will be inputted here. Then click OK. So you can see that you got these frequencies here. So this is our frequency. You can copy that and then paste it here. Okay, we got the frequency there. Then we have the frequency table, which is a group frequency table. So you can see you have the lower limit and upper limit. You can actually write this a little differently. This is from 51 to 59. So we can write this as 51 to 59. This one is 60 to 68. So you can write 60 to 68. This one is 69 to 77. So 69 to 77. This one 78 to 86, 78 to 86. This one is 87 to 95, 87 to 95. This one is 95 to 104, 95 to 104. And on the top here, I can write this or rename this as my class. And I can remove this. Okay. This is my grouped frequency table. I have the class and I have the frequency. Now, after I have this, here we need to find the cumulative frequency according to our question. So the cumulative frequency for the first one, it is 5. For the second, it is this 5 plus that 12. So I can use the formula equal to sum of the frequency or cumulative frequency up to the previous row plus the frequency of this row, and then enter. Then we can drag this down. So you can see first is 5, 5 plus 12, 17, 5 plus 12 plus 10, 27, then 5 plus 12 plus 10 plus 8, 35, 5 plus 12 plus 10 plus 8 plus 3, 38, 5 plus 12 plus 10 plus 8 plus 3 plus 2 is 40. That means the total number of observations here is 40. Here I need the the relative frequency. The relative frequency is equal to frequency of this row divided by the total value or sum of all these values, which is 40. So divided by 40. And we need to find for each of these class. So we'll go here and drag it down. So these are the relative frequencies. So we use Excel to construct the group frequency distribution for large numerical data. Of course, this is not that large, but in real life, you'll have the data points more than this one. Okay, we solved 3 problems, and here is the summary of what we have done in this video. We construct the frequency distribution for categorical data. We constructed the ungrouped frequency distribution for numerical data, and we constructed group frequency distribution for numerical data. That is the end of this video. Thank you for watching.